Welcome back to Sub-Zero Hero, and as you will see from the table at the top of the screen, we are still top of the league, but we've played on a few games since our last episode where we lost narrowly to one of our promotion rivals. Well, we've lost a couple more games as well. We have won a couple in our defence, and our rivals have been stuttering as much as us. So here is the state of play with 4 games left. Our closest rivals are Llama. They're currently 10 points behind us with 12 to play for, but they are in action a couple of days before we play our game. If they lose to Viking, they're going to be 10 points behind us with only 9 left to play for. Effectively, we could seal promotion before we even take to the field for our game. But even if Llama do get a result, if we go into our fixture in today's episode and we win, well, we've got our first promotion in Sub-Zero Hero. So here's the form since the last episode. 2 defeats, 2 wins. Not spectacular, granted, but enough to keep us in the promotion contention. But the game directly after our last episode was probably our poorest of the season. We were up against a good side, Vålerenga's second team, our second in the table, and our closest challengers for the title. But in this game, they made us look very, very ordinary, and most disappointingly, some of our most abject performances came from some of our most experienced players like our keeper Mikkelsen, our right back Loveland, our midfielders Pedersen and Carlson, even the leading scorer in the division, Mathiasen, only pulled a 6.3 rating, so we were starting to worry a little bit, and going into the next game we tweaked things both tactically and in terms of personnel. It meant bringing in some players who probably are not ready for first team football. Richardson came in at left back. He was only 16 years old, but it meant that we could bring Kristoffersen further forward. Antonsson came in at centre-back. Again, only just 16. We had 3 teenagers across the middle, and Gersa was out suspended, so one of the teenagers we brought in was another one of our academy graduates, Auden Schönerson, who's training pretty well. We rewarded him by giving him a game, and he rewarded us with 2 assists. It also meant we had the luxury bringing on a 15-year-old called Jonas Hartviksen, who's been training magnificently all season, but he's a striker that's only got finishing of 5, but that's not stopped him banging in 57 goals for the under-19s in 30 starts. And it's also not stopped him coming on in this game and becoming the club's youngest ever scorer. It was a bit of a poacher's effort. He managed to prod one past the keeper, but at 15 years old, not a bad way to introduce yourself. And we certainly felt a lot better about life having stopped that run of defeats. And then we went in to play Viking's second team, and we smashed them 4-0, and this was another pretty good performance. Good performances are all over the park, including from youngsters Richardson, Sunder, Dreyer, Gersa back in the team as well. So that was really pleasing. Viking didn't look the strongest, and that's who Llama are going to be up against today. But then we had our last game and we went down 2-1, a narrow defeat to Skeid, who are a good side and right near the top of the table. So it meant that we'd now got 4 games left to go. Llama are in action first, so let's click on and see how they do in their game today before we have ours in a couple of days' time. So here we go. As expected, Llama did win, but my goodness, they left it late, didn't they? They needed a 90th minute winner to sneak past Viking. So that means they've now closed to within, 7 points of us. So we need to win today to get back to being 10 in front with just 9 left to play for. We are going to get through the next couple of days. We're going to see you for kickoff. We're going to be taking on Storbeck's second team, who are down there in 7th, right in mid-table. A win for us today, and we are over the line and promoted. Okay, we're underway. We got a message in the press just before this game to say a playoff place has been confirmed because Skeid could only draw one of their games. We're not interested in playoffs. We want to go up automatically. We don't want the heartbreak of potential playoffs. One other thing to tell you is that Mathiasen is suspended for today's game. And so we're playing 15-year-old Hartvigsen to see whether the youngster can take the confidence from scoring 50-plus goals for the under-19s into today's game. It's a big ask, but we're not blessed with a lot of attacking options. So we'll see whether he can put in a magical performance. If he can't, well, we've got another striker on the bench, but he's not particularly match fit. But Kristoffersson is through. Oh, and he could have squared it to the youngster. Probably he was right to shoot, and he really should have tucked it away. That was a gilt-edged chance. And now we've got a corner. It's not come to anything, but we could get the ball back in the box here. We are trying to play a little bit more on the front foot for this game. We're taking it to Storbeck's second team. We'll see how we do. We're now playing with two no-nonsense centre-backs as well to try and cut out some of the mistakes we were seeing earlier in the season. It seems to have worked so far, although it does mean they do things like that, those aimless lumped balls forward. Let's see if we can win it back. We are on the 22nd minute mark. Another defeat today, and we really are starting to look a little bit shaky for promotion. This would make it, what? 4 defeats? 5 defeats? Oh, yeah, this would make it 5 out of the last 7 games. And this Richardson at left back really is not ready. He's only just had his 16th birthday. We are scandalously short in that position. Ludwig Dreher's got us straight back into it, though. He stabbed one over the line. 4th goal of the season for Dreher. If we remember later on, we'll show you his attributes, by the way. I meant to be plugging them into my spreadsheet at the end of every season, but I couldn't wait with Dreher. I've already had a cheeky look to see what progress he's made already. He's already gone up nearly 20 attribute points this season. He has had a great season of training. But we have got some more work to do here, haven't we? Gerson needs to try and win the ball back for us there. He hasn't been able to do so. And I think this could be a highlight for them, couldn't it? They're getting a lot of joy around the edge of our box, and Richardson is there to hack it clear. Looking a little bit fragile back there. Richardson's on a 6.6. Otherwise, the rest of the defence is playing okay. It's a bit further forward where we're not exactly excelling. Grunwald's doing all right, but God, the 15-year-old Hartvigsen, he's having a tougher time. Maybe it was too much of an ask to throw in a 15-year-old for a big game like this. But here is the little man. He's got finishing of 5. Well, he's worked the keeper at least, hasn't he? In the under-19s, he's been smacking those home. But this is an altogether different standard. Loveland swings in the corner. And that comes to nothing as well. Maybe it will give Grunwald a chance to hurl another throw in. It does indeed. He has, and he's got it to Dreher again. He's flicked it over, and the 15-year-old's on it. Little Hartvigsen. Dreher has flicked one back. And Hartvigsen has just pounced completely unmarked. The little 15-year-old's done it. So we've forced our way back into this game. Both the goals coming from players that we have brought through. That is pleasing. We need to try and nurse it through to half-time now. I don't think we want to take our foot off the pedal. We're not that great trying to see out games anymore. We're going to go in, give them a little half-time team talk, make sure morale's up for the second half. We'll see you when the ball's back on the centre spot. Okay, we've made a little sub for this second half. We've brought on Anders Carlsen, as Jensen didn't play great in that first half. And he was a little bit demotivated by me telling the players not to get complacent at half-time. So we've taken him off. Carlsen's on. He's an experienced head. He's not had his best season. But maybe in a big game like this, he might be crucial for us. We need to try and win the ball back, though, because we don't want to put our defence under too much pressure. I've taken take stuck in off for this game again, but I feel like, do you know what, I might need to put it on because we're just doing this thing where you run alongside your man rather than actually trying to tackle them. I know that if I stick it back on, we're going to give away another penalty. I'm going to have a little cheeky look in the tactics, just see if there's anything I need to tweak. Okay, I've done it. Blame me when we give away a penalty in the 90th minute. I've put get stuck in back on. Probably a good job I've taken Jensen off for that, by the way, because he's got aggression of 20. Another reason why I took it off for this game. He starts every game with a little aggressive emote next to him. The youngster's in again, you know. Is he onside? Oh, we could be closing in on it. And Jonas Hartvigsson has got his third goal for the senior team, his second of the night. God, he does find these little pockets of space, doesn't he? And he's got finishing a 5, but I don't know whether maybe some of his hidden attributes help him as a finisher. Maybe he's got good temperament, good pressure. Certainly his composure is okay. And he is doing all right for us. Okay, we're on the 67-minute mark. I reckon it's time to just go and check out the fitness of the players, see if we need to make a couple of subs to try and see us through to the end of the game. So we have made a little change. Gersa was booked and very tired. We've replaced him with another one of our youngsters, so you're going to get to see Schörnerson in action, who's very, very quick. His end product is probably not as good as Gersa's, but look at Dreyer in the midfield, and he's fed Hartvigsson, and the 15-year-old has come in, and he scored a hat-trick in a big old game. Well, for the first, 35, 40 minutes or so, I thought I dropped a bit of a clanger playing a 15-year-old who was just too raw. He needed 2 bites of this one. He's now got himself a hat-trick. I'm not saying he's going to be the answer to all of our attacking promises. I've got to temper expectation by saying he does have finishing of 5, but he's come in against a pretty reasonable side and done all right. Grunwald's given the ball away there, which is a shame because Carlson had won it back for us. And they are through, and they have fired one over the bar. We've still got a substitution up our sleeve. I've dropped the mentality to balanced. I might even throw some time wasting on. Goodness me, Mikkelsen has flapped at that. We've got a little bit lucky to get away with that. You can see this is going to put us 10 points clear of Levanger. They're in that playoff spot. But crucially, there's only going to be 9 to play for. Let's check who is our most tired body out there. It's Dreyer or it's Kristofferson. Maybe if we bring on Bendixson for Dreyer, another experienced head who's creative, can get on the set pieces. Well, look, we got to try and keep 3 goals out in the last 2 minutes plus injury time. I would not back my teams to do that necessarily. And on cue, Storbeck have gone through, and Sunder has... I thought he tackled it into his own goal there. He slid in. But they've given the goal to Jan Miller. All right, so now it's 4-2. We've got to keep 2 goals out now. All right. This, I felt, was avoidable. Let's see if we just need to swap things around in our tactics. Where is our more defensive option? That's going to mean Grunwald. He's going to have to play as the lone front man. We can easily bring Hartvigsson over onto the left. He quite likes it there. Carlson is going to come and play as the halfback. We're going to drop the mentality down to cautious. We're going to take off extremely urgent as well, by the way. What else are we going to do? We're going to hold our shape. I know I'm still 4-2 up, but I am a little bit nervous about some of our defending. And let's get the time wasting on as well. And let's see if we can just nurse it through. I was tempted to pull those wingers back, but I don't want to go and sit right on the edge of our box. I do want to be able to counter, maybe win some corners, try and eat up a little bit more time. We're into the injury time. And this is where I wish I had pulled the wingers back. All right, give me a minute. More changes. Okay, I have clicked every defensive button you can think of. We've got about 3 minutes to try and hold out. A point is not enough, I don't think, if my maths is correct, to guarantee us promotion. Nothing short of a win will do. With 5 minutes left to play, we were winning 4-1. And they have got an attacking throw in here, haven't they? And there's time. Grunwald's hacked it away. Grunwald's now gone to play as a third centre half, by the way, just to try and head some balls. And they have got in down the sides. We've got height in the box. Oh, but there was nobody at the back post. Richardson is being exposed, I think, at left back. But I reckon that's going to be enough to see us through. And what about this little guy up front? He's got a hat-trick and only an 8.6 rating. It's a little bit harsh. But let's outstretch the arms and say, a good win, boys. Well done. And let's bask in the glory of that table. There's no ticker tape. There's no podiums. We've not won the title. Start and Vålerenga's second team, they can deny us the title. But I don't think, if my maths is correct, anybody can deny us promotion now, because there's only 3 games left of the season. We're 10 points clear. I think we've done it. And indeed, we have Tromsdalen promoted to the first division. It's taken us 4 years, but we finally got there. We've not signed a player. And by the way, let's just have a little check. As we sealed promotion there in that game, how many of our youngsters appeared at some point during that fixture? Well, we can't see it quite at the moment, but let's have a little look. How many of our players will have been in the starting lineup? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in the starting lineup were our youngsters, and we bought a 7th off the bench during that game. There you go, 6 in the starting lineup, and we've sealed promotion to Norway's second tier. We've also just signed a 3-year contract extension as well. The board have pumped 200,000 into the club coffers, not enough to get us out of debt, but enough for them to finally send me on a coaching course after 4 seasons, and also enough for them to agree to invest in improving our youth coaching as well. So over time, that should help us bring through even better players. But let's start the promotion party, because we finally got Tromsdalen up to the next division, and we're well on our way to becoming a sub-zero hero.